From a studio just off the first hole in the condo in Redondo, it's the Golf Bag Live. Today's guest, NFL running back and New York Times bestselling author Rashad Jennings. Professional golfer Sofia Anokhina. Well, it's time for the big show. I'm your host, Dave West. Mike, get us up. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the big show. Every week here, we're making changes and we're trying to do something better all the time. This week, we have new graphics. Mike, what do you think of the graphics?
I love them.
Mike loves the graphics. I'm glad. These are done by our friend Kim at Design Hive. We had the logo from Paul at Kicks Clothing, who was our guest last week. But Kim incorporated Paul's logo into Golf Bag Live show graphics. So I like them. I think they're awesome. Kim, I can't thank you enough. I hope everyone out there is doing well. We're living in this quarantine, mask-wearing existence with no sports. No major changes in any of the sports leagues, but all the talk is about no fans. Everything leaning towards no fans. I'm not really hearing anything new. I know there's some rumblings about Major League Baseball. The Little League World Series did get canceled for the first time ever. I think it's 1947. Not sure about that. But NASCAR's coming back. Be back on May 17th. It's all very fluid. And from what I'm hearing, every sport is trying to find the best way to move forward, keep everybody safe, and still get the sport out and get people to, back to enjoying sports. But the wait continues. Hopefully you come here to watch us and we can put a little sports in your life, fill a little bit of that void. So Mike, let's just get right to it. First up, as you all know by now, the NFL draft was last week. Every team's trying to get it right. And by choosing the right player, they can put their franchise on a path that also changes the path of someone's life. My first guest knows something about having his life changed. In 2009, he was taken in the 7th round by the Jacksonville Jaguars, a running back that played 8 seasons in the NFL. This is New York Times bestselling author Rashad Jennings. Rashad, what is up?
What's happening, man? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm filthy. I'm ragged. I look like a mess, but I'm good, man. Real good.
Hey,
I've been running around with my family all day.
That's good. I got a hat on because I got quarantine haircut going.
Show it off, man. Show it off.
I'll get to it. All right, we'll get to the New York Times part in a little bit. But first of all, let's talk about some football. So you went to high school. Tell me this story. You're spotted by a scout that said you had the talent, didn't have the grades. Give me a little bit of that whole experience.
Oh, man. So it's a whole story. You want to know it?
Yeah, man. Let's hear it. It's
so
a great story. And some people might not know it. It's what I found. There's a couple things I found really interesting. So go ahead.
So when I was in high school, a junior in high school, mind you, let me just paint the picture. I was this 5th string running back, overweight, chubby kid, glasses, asthma. I had a 0.6 GPA at one point in time. I was a 5th string running back in high school saying that I wanted to play in the NFL. So that gives you a visual that I obviously had to overcome a lot. And so we're playing against my high school rival. It's the last game of the season. Our team, the Jefferson Forest Cavaliers, our rival, crosstown rival, the Brookville Bees. We have no chance of going to the playoffs. Our season was in kapoots. We're done. But our opponent, if they win, they go to the playoffs. If we beat them, they're out. So it's kind of like our Super Bowl. And so long story short, we go out. It's packed out, crosstown rival. And there's a Tennessee scout that came to watch our starting running back because he was really good. His name was Quincy Freeman. So, mind you, when I say I never play, it's to the point, you know how you have thigh pads and knee pads and butt pads?
Yeah.
I used to take those out and put in M&M candy, Skittles, now and later.
You just used them as giant pockets?
Oh, yeah. Seriously, I would stash them with Sprites, like all kind of good snacks. And basically, how I looked at it was I had the front row tickets to watch Friday Night Lights every single weekend.
Right.
That's how I looked at it. So me and my buddy, his name was Speedy. He was pretty terrible. And he didn't earn the name Speedy. Me and him was on the same boat. We never played. So me and him would kind of like, high-five each other, have our own little party. So this particular game, the very first play of the game, playing against a high school rival last game of the season, our starting running back, Quincy Freeman, got hurt the very first play of the game. So Speedy, he's one of them friends that's like, you ever have a friend that overamps you up no matter what it is you do?
Yeah.
Like, they think you're just the best at everything and you're terrible. So that was Speedy. So Speedy, when he saw the starter gets hurt, he starts shaking me. He's like, hey, man, they going to play you. They going to play you. I'm pushing them off. I'm like, man, get off me, man. They ain't going to play me. Go back to eating my peanuts, watching the game. And
so you have stuff in your pockets on a game, not just practice.
Oh, yeah, this is during the game. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Helmet off on the sideline, have no idea where it's at. And the second string goes out, he gets hurt. Third string goes out, he gets hurt. They retaped the ankle of the first string running back, throw him out. He couldn't compete. They took him out, threw in the fourth string running back. He gets hurt.
Man. Fourth
string running back gets hurt. I'm fifth. So Speedy's now on the sideline doing backflips. He thinks I'm going to play. And the coach scans the sideline. He looks at me eye to eye. He looks away. He calls in a wide receiver to put him in at running back instead of me. So half of me is obviously pissed off because I'm like, yo, I'm up. I've been waiting a long time. The other half of me is like, shoot, I don't want to go out there and get hurt. Everybody was getting hurt for whatever reason. This is just the first quarter.
Oh, so really? All those guys went out in the first quarter?
First quarter. I'm not making any of this up. Wow. This is all documented information. So the wide receiver goes out. He gets hurt. They have no choice but to play me at this point. I go out, red hands from Skittles, like blue pants from all the M&Ms, and we had white pants. I get in the huddle. It's 10 players. I make the 11th, and they all just beam eyes at me like, what the heck are you doing here? Like, yo, we ain't got nobody else. We got to go. So they called the play, and that very first play was a run play. I got the ball. I made 2 people miss and scored a 40-yard touchdown. Fast forward, I come back to the sideline. I'm drunk. You can't tell me nothing. I chest bump Speedy. His fat tail falls to the ground. I pick him up. Like, it's a moment. And they put back in the third string running back. Fast forward, they threw me back in again. Scored another touchdown. Similar situation on defense. Guys getting hurt left and right. They threw me on defense. Yeah. I sacked the quarterback at defensive end. He fumbles. I pick it up. I score another 30-yard touchdown. And to end the game, Brookville's winning 24-21.
Nice.
All they have to do is run the clock out. 1 minute left. They got the ball. They run the first play. We hit them. Timeout. Second play, running back ran it. Hit them. Timeout. Third down. All they got to do is run 2 more plays. Game over. For whatever reason, they got frisky and decided to run a screenplay. I'm playing defensive end. I feel the offensive lineman try to whiff me. I sneak up under the lineman. The quarterback pump fakes it to the left, turns to the right, and throws it. Doesn't even look. I'm standing right there. I picked the ball off, and I score the 40-yard touchdown again to finish the game. Now, we won. Walk off.
3 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns. 4. 2 on offense, 2 on defense, right?
Yeah.
And the Tennessee scout came to holler at me after the game. He said, hey, Rashad, I came to watch the starter, Quincy Freeman, but I couldn't help but to notice you. He said, young man, I didn't even see your name on the roster. And he asked
by the way, can I have some Skittles?
Right. Yeah, you smell good over here. What are you doing? But he asked me, he said, how are your grades? And I told him, sir, I have a 0.6 GPA. And he looked at me and said, man, you have to try to get something that bad. And, man. I was like, I couldn't really say too much. He said, son, you have potential. Get your grades right. You can play at the next level one day. And for the first time in my life, somebody outside of the people that are going to support me no matter what, family, friends, they just going to say it to you, right?
Right.
Somebody, a stranger, saw something in me. Long story short, I ended up transferring high schools. My brothers went to a high school to coach for free to pay half my tuition. My parents took a loan, a mortgage against the home to pay the other half of tuition. I transferred to a private school, repeated my junior year, took 9 homeschool classes on top of 9 summer school classes, plus the regular academics. I stopped blaming people. I stopped making excuses. I started taking ownership and responsibility, and the rest was history from there.
Wow. So I read something that when you transferred to Lynchburg Christian, that your brothers volunteered to coach.
Yeah, they volunteered to coach there for free to help pay half of my tuition.
And how many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have 2 older brothers. I tell everybody I was the whoops, here we go again, baby, because my brothers are 10 and 14 years older than me. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. My parents been doing what they've been doing for 10 plus years. Didn't think they could have any more kids, but here I come.
Well, hey, here you are. So you go from this school and then you go to Pitt, correct?
Yes.
So tell me about the transition. You go to Pitt and then you find yourself at Liberty.
Yeah, so I earned a full scholarship eventually to Pittsburgh University. From at the time it was called Lynchburg Christian Academy, which is now Liberty Christian Academy. It's in a little small town, Lynchburg, Virginia. And I went to Pittsburgh, started there freshman year, ended up starting as a true freshman. I was one of 4 guys at the time that's ever been able to do that, and loved it. I was in my double major that I really, really wanted, psychology and sociology. When I'm done, when I was done with football, I have a desire long term down the road to be a marriage counselor. Not right now, but in the latter years of my life. Yeah. And that's what I went to study for. I transferred because my dad's illness. He had to get his leg amputated at the time. And I wanted to be home, closer to home. Pittsburgh's 6 hours away from home. Liberty's 10 minutes. And so I sacrificed to be there for my mom, help her out around the house, help dad. They've been there for me for 19 years. I figured I could be there for 3 at least.
That's good, man. That's good. Well, as far as football goes, it paid off. You're at this small school. Here comes draft day. Now, you have to know, right? Even though you're at Liberty, a small school that's not really on that radar for combine and draft and all that, you have to know that you could get drafted, right?
Right. It's a possibility.
Okay. So that day comes. Now, here's what I find interesting. When you see all these guys at the draft and they've got every hat, especially this year, they have every hat laid out on top of them. There's no hugging the commissioner. There's none of these things are going on. And you have those 20, 30, 40 guys that are like, well, I'm going to go in this round. I'm going to go here. I'll probably go between 10 and 15 or whatever. But if you don't know that, what's it like from the athlete's point of view, sitting there waiting for that call?
It's pretty intense. You got a lot of guys that's busted their tail off probably since they were 6 years old to get an opportunity to hear their name called on this one particular day. Through all the injuries, sacrifices, you know, naysayers, possibilities, dreams, refocus. I don't think there's a lot of people's parents that say, yeah, I really want my kid to go aspire to be an NFL player. There's only one in roughly 1,600 people in the world that can play this sport annually. Like, it's very elite.
Right.
So to be one of the, 250 guys in the world drafted a year, it's pretty hard to do. So you're sitting there and, your kind of whole life is flashing by you because this is everything you've invested in. And when you hear your name called, it's crazy because you find out the same time as anybody else in the world does, literally. They're watching TV just like me and you. The only difference is their phone rings while their name is getting called. That's it. They find out pretty much the same time as you, and that's an intense moment. I remember I was sitting there with my whole family in the 7th round. I was 256th pick in the draft, 2009, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I was the last running back pick. And I remember sitting around with my family, and it's that whole day. You're like, don't nobody call me, don't text me, don't bother me.
Leave me alone.
Rings. Yes, it has to be a team. I don't want to hear about, hey, what's going on? How you feel? Shut up.
Yeah, so, everything's charging.
Right.
No dead batteries. I need cell service and quiet.
Yes. Talking about that, you're going to find this story pretty funny. So I'm sitting there and it's quiet, family's kind of like moving around. They don't know if I'm going to it's only 6 more picks left. So odds are I'm not going to get drafted. And then my family has to find some sweet words to encourage me. So they're kind of like, gosh, type of thing. So I'm watching TV and all of a sudden a highlight of me pops up in the background. And I'm behind everybody because I don't want nobody looking at me. And I can see me running. And so I can see everything starts slowing down at this moment. I can see my family starting to like, are they going to draft him or what? Because I was the number 1 best available player for 4 rounds straight. It just wouldn't get picked. So I'm not believing it. until I see it. So my family started getting excited. My phone vibrates. I look at it. It's an unknown number. And I pick it up. As soon as I pick it up, the TV says, Jackson, ding-a-ling, that little noise, Jacksonville Jaguars select Rashad Jennings. And my family erupts, and I say hello. Right? So it's a surreal moment. And this dude says, hey, I can hear the family in the background. Are you ready to be a Jacksonville Jaguar? And before I could answer, my phone hangs up. I lost service.
Oh,
right?
No.
Now, I ain't going to tell you what service I had, but I was like, you got this kid that's unlikely, shouldn't have made it, got drafted, and all of a sudden the guy asked me, are you ready to be a Jaguar? And to him, I hung up. So that means no. Right?
Yes, not.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm freaking out. And luckily he called me back, and it was a funny moment. But, man, after that, it was nothing but tears and back to the bottom of the totem pole again.
What's that transition like from a small school to the NFL?
It's, I think the transition, regardless of the size of the school, is the same.
Right.
Because the game ain't going to change, right?
Okay.
The speed of the game changes, but not players.
Yeah, you hear everybody talk about this speed difference and guys who were the fastest guy in college are getting run down from middle linebackers in the pros. Was that noticeably for you like, whoa? Is it a big thing?
I thought college, I'm a student of the game. I'm going to start there. I'm truly a student of the game. I understand the X's and O's. I understand the chess man. I understand the playbook. I understand what I'm doing. I understand what the quarterback's doing. I understand what everybody's trying to accomplish on the field. So I'm a student. And I've noticed in the NFL, the difference in any college player should listen to this and understands this if you're in the league. The biggest difference isn't the speed of the player themselves. A 4.4 in college is the same 4.4 in the NFL.
Right.
You care where you run it. But the speed of the game is different because they're reacting and responding quicker.
Right.
So if it took 2 seconds for that hole to close as a running back, if I'm trying to get through the hole and it took 2 seconds before it closes, now in the NFL, maybe it takes 0.5.
Wow.
So you have to respond quicker. That's the biggest difference between college football and the NFL. Guys are more students.
That's what you always hear, and that's the thing about the speed. So you play 8 years. You play for the Jaguars, the Raiders. You end up with the Giants, and just surmise your NFL career, if you could.
Fortunate, blessed, humbled.
Yeah. I follow you on Instagram, and I saw something you said last night when you were talking about being in it and having that opportunity to present yourself.
Yeah. I tell people, for me, I feel like playing in the NFL is like an underage kid sneaking into the dopest VIP party ever.
Yeah.
And they in there having a time. And I'm talking about living their best life. Knowing they shouldn't be in there, but hey, I'm going to ride this thing out. I'm going to take this one for the team. If I get punished, oh well. Yeah. And you're just waiting for the bouncer to come get you out because you don't have the right wristbands. That's pretty much, and it took them 8 years to realize I don't have no wristband. All right, I got to leave. All right, see y'all later. I have fun. It's not for long. It's not forever. It's not an obligation or duty. Right. It is a complete privilege. And I was talking about yesterday, the best players don't play in the NFL.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
If you believe that, you're fooling yourself. The best players don't play. If that was the case, I wouldn't have been in there. And a lot of these guys in there wouldn't be in there. It's circumstantial of putting yourself in the best position constantly and doing what's right repetitively. You have to brainwash yourself for this opportunity. And for me, though, it was great. It opened up doors for other opportunities. I personally said, always have said, and will continue to say, if I'm only remembered as Rashad Jennings, NFL running back, I'm a failure in my book. Football definitely doesn't define me. It definitely has blessed me with opportunities, but I'm so much more than a player. The difference is that I would have been the same talent. I still would have been had the same abilities Had I not been drafted, I still would be Rashad Jennings, right? The only reason but people mark me as a football player. It's like, yo, the only reason you know these talents, because I did it. I got so many other talents that I'm waiting to excel in to show as well, just like I was waiting for football. So I enjoyed it, but it's definitely not my benchmark.
Well, it's funny that you say that, and you and I talked about this before. You've done so much that football is a benchmark because you made an interesting pivot. You made two interesting pivots. The first one is you wrote a book. Tell me about the if in life.
So the if in life is a play on words, hinting on LIFE. There's literally an if in life. And right. I wanted to go through 15 chapters kind of exploiting how pivotal and important that one little itty bitty word is to the success and failures of our life. And it was humbling. It was very therapeutic to do because I had to recap, slow down, unplug. And, I've always been a person to kind of have my head down and grinding, like building a tunnel out. And I finally just popped my little head out of the ground to see where I was at. And I decided to write a book and tell a story about it and go back, dig again, and pop my head up again and started to write a kid series.
Well, it's funny you say that. I want to go into that because you made one pivot to write, but then you make a massive pivot because I think everybody thinks football, tough, machismo, guy, all that. And then you go on and you write a children's series, The Coin Slot Chronicles, which I have two sons. When I saw that you wrote this, and I actually saw you on the Rich Eisen show talking about this, and I was like, whoa, what's this about? And I had known you before then, but I didn't know you had written these books. How did those come about? And tell us all a little bit about those books, because I think they're super cool.
Yeah, appreciate that, man. Appreciate that a lot. So the kids series is endearing to me. I was afforded with the creative license to write, right?
Yeah.
It's a fictional book. And it's 60% of myself. This kid is the hero of the book. His name is Arcade Livingston. One, I've always wanted my name. Like, I think everybody as a kid has an alias name or something. And I always wanted I always wanted my parents to give me the name Arcade. I thought it was dope. It sounds cool to me. Come up to somebody, hey, my name is Arcade. I don't know. It sounds good to me. So I gave it to him. And along with every other character in the story, there are pop-ups in my life from people I was able to pull throughout my whole life and create this book. But it's about Arcade Livingston. He's a very unpretentious, quirky kid, lovable. You can't help but to love him. And he always finds himself in the weirdest troubles. And he comes across this beautiful golden token that was given to him by a librarian with his name on it. And he learns what this token is about. Okay. It's a golden token, right? So the first time he receives it, he puts it on a rope and he ties it around his neck and lets it hang like a bedazzle. He puts it under his shirt, right? And so he continues to proceed regularly. And he whenever he says the phrase, I don't understand or I don't know, right, it starts to get hot, right? And every time it gets hot, he started moving it around. He didn't know the first time what it was for. Then he talked to his sister. He said, again, I don't understand. And it got really hot again. This time he took it out, like, because it was too hot. Whenever this token touches his skin, these golden shingles start to appear around him like a door, right? So when he saw it appearing, he let go, boom, it disappears. So his sister, they're trying to figure out what that's about. Long story short, he says it again at some point throughout the book. He says, I don't understand. He holds it. This time he lets the door continue to formulate, and there's a slot, right, to put this coin in that he sees. He puts two and two together. Yeah. He puts it inside the door, and it vanishes into a totally different galaxy. And inside that alternative world, he learns all his truest answers. He starts to save people's lives. He gets to see why people bully. He gets to see into people's life. It's almost like the movie Click, where Adam Sandler can pause life, fast forward.
Yeah.
That's kind of what he gets a chance to do.
No, it's very cool, and it definitely taps into, the childlike side, the keeping the open-mindedness and the looking at life with wonder and eyes wide open, because we can get very shut down with our blinders on. I think writing a book like that and reading a book like that definitely helps you stay kind of young at heart. And it takes a special kind of ability to be able to tap into that side of telling a book. I think not a lot of people can write a book. I think writing a book is extraordinary because it seems just like a lot of work and a lot of focus. Yeah. But then to come up with these stories, and especially children's stories, I think it's like amazing they're able to do this. And you have 3 out, 1 coming out, right?
1 coming out, man. Yeah, and I think for myself, it's easier for me to get in touch with my 13-year-old self than my 35-year-old self.
Yes, because you got a pocket full of Skittles and some Cokes and some Pepsis.
Hey, adults ain't nothing but kids with money. That's all we are. So, I don't take myself too serious, but I grew up again with the reading comprehension deficit. So I wanted to give kids something that they would love to read and flip through. Like I wrote it so it becomes addictive. You want to see what happens next.
Good.
With all these kids. So if you can hear me, I lost you.
All right. How about now? You hear me now?
Yeah, we live.
Yeah. You see, live things happen. So what's next? Is there an animated series or anything in place?
Actually, yes. We had a conversation yesterday, ironically.
Oh, yeah?
With some networks about what it could look like. So we're navigating through those kind of questions. It's definitely in the market to turn into an animation series, a cartoon series. Action figures, a whole bunch, the 9 with it.
All right, cool. Yeah. I know, got to keep some of that on the DL, but I like hearing it. So here we are, man. We're all sheltered in place. We're all quarantined in. Biggest question, how you doing? How's the family doing? What are you doing to stay sane?
I'm completely healthy. I'm completely amazing. My mom's good, which means I'm good.
All right.
And I'm here in Virginia. I live on West Hollywood, but I've been here in Virginia. I'm very sane, man.
Good.
So I'm in a group chat with some of my friends, right? Some of my homeboys. I'm in tons of group chats, but this one specifically with my homeboys, and they all work 9 to 5s. And they text me. We were just talking trash back to each other. And one of them texted me and said, "Rashad, you're bored, huh?" And I text back, I said, "That's funny. You call it boredom. I call it freedom." I said, "The difference is you guys are bored because y'all are used to working. You're not used to having to be controlling your free time, right?
Right.
You never used to having to be an entrepreneur of your free time." And I said, "Welcome to my world. I'm like this every day."
Yeah.
With having to set my own schedule, motivate myself, create my own demands, yada, yada, yada. So, but I've been totally good, reconnecting, unplugging with stuff, doing the little odds things and reading and typically normal stuff besides not eating as much sushi because the restaurants are shut down.
Man, how bad would you like some sushi right now?
Love it. Dude,
I want some bad. I know that's the one thing about going to restaurants I think I'm missing the most is wanting to have some sushi. Where can we find the books? Where can people find these books?
You can go to, I got people keep trying to call me. You can go to Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com right now. Anywhere where books are sold, you will find The If in Life and Arcade Livingston. Or you can go to RashadJennings.com and you can find links straight to it, or all my social media accounts is at Rashad Jennings.
All right, cool, man. Thanks for doing this. I know you're a busy man. You're a Renaissance man. We didn't even touch on the fact you play guitar. You're a motivational speaker. You're an actor. You're a dancer. Mirror ball champion.
Yeah.
Hey, keep it up, man. You're making the world a better place. I really appreciate you doing this.
Appreciate you, man.
All right, man. Everybody find Rashad on Instagram at Rashad Jennings. He's got a lot to say. He's dropping knowledge. He's writing books. Follow him. It's a good follow. And I thank you, sir. Have a great day.
Appreciate you. Take it easy.
Bud. All right, Rashad Jennings, everybody. Great guy. So You can find Rashad, like I said, RashadJennings.com. You can go to Apple Books. You can order the hard copy. They're available in digital, Amazon. You can find them a lot of places. The Coin Slot Chronicles with Arcade Livingston. Check them out. So this week, my oldest son turns 10. Now, double digits is a really big thing if you remember turning 10. About a month after he turned 4, I had an idea. Being a director, I wanted to get something on tape that showed his golfing ability. I had no idea where his game was going to go, but I thought, I want to shoot something. I want to shoot a spec spot. I want to make it as good as I can. I want to share it with people, and hopefully people can see this little kid doing something really hard and making it look easy. Plus, as his dad, I just thought it was really cool. So here it is. It's all us. Nobody sponsored it. It's just a dad, his kid, and some of his dad's talented friends. So here is my Callaway spec shot with my son, who's 4 at the time, Caden. Check it out. There it is, Callaway spot with my son, Caden. Mike, can we hear you on the show?
Yes,
I'm just
back.
In my ear.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I know that you love that.
Oh, that's one of the greatest things you ever did in your life, just so you know. I love that.
Thanks. It was funny. First of all, I want to say that a special shout out for that goes to Caden's first coach, Reggie Pinuelos, who's no longer with us, but Reggie was there through every step of the way. So I want to say hey to Reggie. And it was just fun. And I just wanted to show something that he could do. And he still golfs. It's his birthday this week. So I figured this week would be a good week to show that. So watch it. You can find it on YouTube. And it was a lot of fun. So I'm glad everybody got to see it. And, makes dad proud. So, all right, we're moving on. My next guest I saw on Instagram as a golfer playing for Northern Arizona University. That's where I went to school. I didn't even know they had a golf team, but she had great success. She won the Big Sky Championship as a sophomore. She transferred to Arizona State for her senior year and played on a great team under Coach Missy Farquet. She has since graduated. She's moved on to professional golf and hat design. Mike, bring her in. It's Sofia Anokhina. Hi, Sofia.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Okay. I know because I know you. You're from Moscow. I love that. If we pan a little bit that way, you could probably see that that's an American flag behind you.
Uh-oh.
How did a girl from Russia find herself in Flagstaff, Arizona playing golf?
It's a tough question, but I have to say when you have a golfing season that's about 4 to 5 months long, you just kind of assume that Arizona is a very warm place that you would like to be at, and you assume that Arizona is a desert only. And when you're trying to escape cold, you assume that Arizona is just a perfect place, and then all of a sudden you go up the mountain to 12,000 feet, and all of a sudden it does snow there. And you're like, oh, well, I guess Arizona is not just a desert. Hey, it's still better than 4 months of the season back home because there's always Sedona. There's always, beautiful drive down. And here we are down in Phoenix right now in 100 and something Fahrenheit.
That's coming. That's coming. It'll be hot in about right about now. How did you transfer? How did that happen? So you go to NAU and then you transfer to Arizona State, ASU. How did that transfer happen?
Well, I was very fortunate to spend 3 years at NAU and really grew my game a lot.
Right.
I was very
successful at NAU, right?
It was great because I definitely did enjoy having green grass under my feet for 365 days a year. Definitely helps. Playing all year round definitely helps a lot. After winning some collegiate tournaments, I was like, you know what? I'm growing, and I know there is a lot in the long run. Like I was definitely really looking into turning professional, and I was like, I just got to get down to warmer weather, more tournaments, bigger fields, stronger fields. And I was very fortunate enough that Arizona State had a spot open for me, and Missy Farkey basically opened one of the major doors to me, and I was very lucky about that.
It's great. And Coach Farkey is great. For those of you who don't know, we also have the Golf Bag podcast, and I did a fantastic interview with Coach Farkey that talks a lot about collegiate golf, a lot about supporting these women and their hopes and their dreams and their goals and guiding them. And it's a great interview. You can check it out. But also that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Sofia introducing us. So, Sofia, we got a little Sparky for you. So last year, go Devils. There we go. Last year was the inaugural Augusta National Women's Amateur, which you were a part of. What was that like?
Well, I have to say I didn't quite, anticipated the invitation because obviously it's a ranked event. But they did have 3 basically wild cards to give away, just an invitations. And I happened to be one of them. Again, a very lucky situation there. I guess they tried to make it as diverse as possible. And obviously finding a golfer from Russia that be, somewhat close to be even with the field was a great opportunity for them. Just laughing at it, but it was quite impressive, honestly. I got a call. I didn't even get a letter first. I got a call first, and I was driving, and I remember how I was like, I started shaking, so I had to pull over because I was
I bet.
I can't believe this, and I definitely.
Now, is this out of the blue? You have no idea this is about to happen.
Just get on my phone, just get a call. I look at it, and it says like Augusta, and I'm like, oh well, whatever. I don't know anybody in Augusta, and then. Yeah, it was just a miracle call, and it's quite amazing. And not that when the tournament was originally like introduced to the world, my coach was like, you know what, we will have to, get your ranking to that point where you can enter that tournament. And I'm like, yeah, I think that would be amazing. And I've been making it very good progress towards it, and then the time come in, I wasn't high enough in the ranking yet, but I was very close, which was like, unfortunate, it happens to everybody. We don't really always hit our long-term goals, and that's okay.
Right.
So I was kind of like, cool event, I will just watch it on TV. And then I got a call, and I was like, oh my gosh, unbelievable. But it was definitely something that I've never experienced before. And I don't think until I got to the point where I stepped on the Augusta grounds, I didn't think that it was real.
It was real. Now there's a picture of you driving down Magnolia Lane for the first time. And the look on your face, you look like a little kid on Christmas morning. Was it really that amazing?
Well, I have to say I had a very emotional day the day before that. I had a very emotional day because I went through the playoff, and I didn't do great the first round. I did great the second round, and it wasn't good enough. So I had to go to the playoff, which I think made my day and that whole year, honestly, in that whole event, because it was probably one of the most stressful one hole I've played in my entire life.
But I feel like the most out of the experience. We're going to play 37 holes.
Let's just try everything, honestly.
Yeah.
And I think that after that day, the emotions were not yet at the level where I could, breathe and have a regular
inhale, exhale,
and have a regular heart rate. So yes, when you drive down the Magnolia Lane, it's kind of like, is it even real? Like, am I in a movie? Because the grass is perfect, everything is perfect. The sun, it was shining perfectly. And there's just one word, like a miracle, perfection, paradise, you name it. But it was breathtaking. And, you know, for the girl who grew up in Moscow, we actually don't even have Masters on TV. You have to have like a separate like TV provider, a European TV provider to even have it on the stream. I never watched one Masters in my entire life until I got to America because I couldn't. We just don't have that on TV.
Wow.
So, you know, realizing that not only I could have watched it in the TV the last 4 years, I could have actually like been there and like breathe in that air. I don't know.
Yeah, well, and what's I think what's super cool is this is the first one. I mean, it's always called the inaugural, and there's a first time winner, and there's a first time you know, spectacle, but there's also a first time cut. So the first 36 holes are not played at Augusta. They're played at Champions Retreat. And then they cut from, I believe it was 70 down to 30. You go into that playoff. And I remember watching, I think you parred that hole. And as soon as you parred it and somebody was like in the rough or something with a tree, I don't remember exactly what it was. And I was like, she's in. And you make the cut and then you get to go play at Augusta. And so, you know, there's the first time, there's also the first cut. You made the first cut. Was it pressure on that day when you're playing at Augusta? Is it pressure or is it just like, holy crap, this is so crazy?
You know, I was walking in the first tee and there were ropes everywhere and there were people like absolutely everywhere. And I mean, right down the fairway line, basically. And all I told myself, I was like, well, this is really fun. I like really enjoyed it. And then I saw like so many happy faces of people just like standing there. And then I saw like my loved ones, my boyfriend and his brother was there. So I like, it calmed me down a lot. My coach was on the bag. That was great. But then one thought I had on the tee box, I was like, Sofia, if one time you have to hit a freaking fairway, it would be now.
Right now.
Really, like if you don't, you might kill somebody. Like you might hurt somebody. And the thought of that made hit like, I literally was like, okay, there's no other place to hit but that fairway, I guess. So I did hit the fairway. And then after that, I was like, okay, well, let's breathe out a little bit. But then, you know, I think when you go down to like the aiming corner, I think that's where like even more emotions start building up because, well, it doesn't start until the back nine on a Sunday, right? For us, it was Saturday, but that aiming corner, I mean, man, it was so fun. There were so many people. It was so fun. And like for the first time,
it was a huge success. It was a huge TV ratings. I remember the amen corner part because I remember when they cut to you walking across, was it Hogan Bridge, like going to 12?
Yeah. Well, it's like so basically what happened on the hole before that on 11, I hated like right basically on the path where people were walking in the woods. I was trying to play it safe and not hit left. So I was like, I'll just go in the last right forest. And out of there, I hit this chip shot. And the way the
forest is always a good choice.
Yeah, it's just like, well, you know, just amuse the crowd, I guess. So the crowd was built up around me because I blocked the path. I chip it out and I couldn't really go for the green. So I just chip it out in the fairway. The ball disappears and the crowd is like, oh man, oh, come on. And I'm like, I turn around and I'm like, you guys, there is fairway over there. I'm fine. And people are like laughing. And then I go there and it's like, still remember it's 77 meters to the flag. And I hit it close to the flag from 70 meters. So I saved the par and that whole like stance on the aiming corner, they were like standing up and like yelling because they probably thought it's like for par or for a birdie or something. Like I almost eagled the hole and I'm just like hitting for a par, you know, well, whatever. But I mean, it was so cool. It was incredible. Like the emotions and the level and the power. I feel like that was the point where I was like, I love the crowds. And I think that golf is such an artistic and creative game that like, if you give it all in, it will give it back to you. And it's just such an exchange of energy and emotions that as long as you're able to maintain it, it's the best feeling ever.
That's a great way of looking at it. I like the way you said that. And golf is that, and it is artistic. And, you know, we all could hit the same shot different. I mean, you'd be on the same tee box and there's Tiger Woods and there's Bubba Watson and there's nothing similar about either one of those guys, but they're playing the same game with the same clubs and the same ball and the same hole. And it's about the artistic freedom to get there.
Yeah, exactly. But it's still fun to watch.
Yeah, exactly. Both super exciting to watch. So you come back, you finish your season at ASU, you graduate. Now what? Where are you at now with your golf?
So I've graduated recently in December and I turned professional. Never thought that I would do that when I, was, I guess, just going to college. I was kind of like, we'll see where this goes, I guess. But now it's kind of, to the point where there's no way. Like, America gives you so many opportunities and just kind of opens so many doors that you start believing in yourself like never before. You're like, sure, like there's no way this is not possible. There's no chance. So, I mean, it's probably, I thought about every single choice as like fearless, right? Like, I went to the school in the United States in Flagstaff, which some Americans don't even know about that city's town, right?
Yeah, trust me, I know.
I sat on the plane and I was like going from Moscow to here, and I was like, when I was 17, and I was like, what are you doing? Like, where are you going? Do you even know where you're going? And I felt like that feeling of like, well, I'm fearless, so whatever, I'll figure it out. I think that I try to always go back to that feeling and try to feel it again and, make a decision a little bit that way. So turned professional, and obviously COVID happened.
Yeah.
So we're a little bit here and there, trying to figure it out, just like everybody. But definitely going to the Q school. Now it's in October and it's in Florida. Stage 1 is in Florida. Okay. So very looking forward for that. Definitely getting ready for that. Trying to play as many tournaments as I can, whatever it is. Either it's a, Monday skins game at the local club, at the home club, or it's a mini tour event, or maybe Monday qualifier, whatever that is. Just trying to get on that and work hard.
Well, Florida is opening up. I believe it's Monday. I know golf courses are opening up. There's some here in California that are open. Los Angeles County's not open, and people talking about social distancing in golf. So hopefully it's something that will open up and allow you to get out to further pursue, what your dream is and what you're here to do. And I want to talk about also, while you're doing this, an opportunity was presented to you and you got on board with a hat company called Vimhue. So tell me about Vimhue.
So when I was in my last semester of college at the university, I wasn't on the team anymore. So I really dove into the schoolwork because I tried to take 8 classes in one semester to graduate in a semester rather than in a year. Just really committed to the school. And I was very fortunate to meet like a lot of people and, to kind of broaden my attention to really have a little bit more time outside of school and do things that I didn't think I would do, like do internships and stuff like that. Right. So I got together with a company called Vimhue, and the owner of the company is a very, very enthusiastic, passionate lady. Her name is Caden Lim, and she's awesome. She's basically a runner, and she's created a hat that is engineered specifically for women. And by saying that, it's it sits perfectly. It fits about 95% of female hat. And what's amazing about it is basically the back is designed the way that we females can wear our hair any way we would like. So we don't really have to adjust our ponytails or buns. Right,
and you can pardon what I'm about to do here because I don't know anything about a ponytail. Never have, never.
Got it.
But the hole in the hat on a regular hat is always in the same spot, so you have to put your ponytail essentially in the same spot. But with this hat, you can go top, you can go 3/4, you can go back, and I know that. Talk about the pattern on the back. Is there something you said to me about the X?
Yeah, so the pattern is actually, it's called sun. There are 2 designs. One of them is called Sun Goddess, and it looks like a sun. So basically, if you imagine the sunlight, the sun goes up and down, which allows your hair to go up and down as well with it. So it's really, you make your hairstyle that you put on the hat, and it will be comfortable regardless, whatever you do today. And that, which is awesome. It sits above the ears, and it's more raised up. It goes like gradually from top to bottom. So it's more open, face is more open. It's still UPF 50, but it just feels more feminine. And since I've met, I was introduced to the company and I've decided to work for them as well as represent the brand. And we've been growing pretty well. There's another design. It's called Ex-Boyfriend. And
that's the one you told me about.
Same idea, basically. We actually say, put your ex behind you and move forward. That's the motto. Pretty funny. Lots of people think that. And so the axe basically allows you to put, again, your ponytail on top or the bottom. It's a very cool design, very neat stuff, great product.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it allows me really to play golf with the hat that I absolutely love. And I can also introduce it to so many more people and, be a proud ambassador.
Where do people find these hats? Because I've talked about it. You and I talked about it in Phoenix a few months ago at an event. And I've talked to women I know here and their daughters who golf, and they're all like, where do I get this hat? So where can women and female golfers find this hat? And I assume it doesn't have to be a golfer. You can play tennis, you can run. You can
do anything. Like, it's an everyday hat. So really, there is a website. It's Vimhue.com.
Vimhue.
You got it.
Okay.
.com, and that's an online website. We are based out of here in Phoenix, and we ship from here. We also do sell the hats to the golf courses around the country, and you can find it in basically every single state. There is a golf course where we sell it to. Obviously, they might be custom logoed, so Vimhue.com is definitely the website to go to, and it would be a safe place to learn more about the product.
That's awesome. I love it. I'm excited about your golf future. I'm not letting you off the hook, yo. I got some questions for you.
Oh, no.
I'm excited about your golf future. I'm really excited to see Vimhue hats in more and more places. And I know that, with the junior market, there's a lot of girls that play, and it'd be great to see those out there. And when this whole coronavirus is over, I want to see you out there. I can't wait to come see you play, at the A&A. It's right down the road there. So, all right. When I end every one of my podcasts, I have a certain stock of questions that I ask, and they're not the first thing that comes to mind, but they're just sort of quick questions, and you tell me what you think. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
The first one may be the toughest one. You ready?
Ooh.
Lumberjack or Sun Devil?
Sun Devil.
Favorite course?
Oh, Devils. That's definitely Augusta. I'm sorry, I have to say that.
Okay, good. Best score?
63 and 9 under.
Nice. Do you ever have a hole-in-one?
I did once at my NAU home event.
Okay. A hole-in-one's a hole-in-one. It doesn't matter where you get it.
I mean, but it's an event, so it's like a tournament, so it's cool.
What's your favorite major?
Well, business management, I guess, man.
What's your favorite golf major?
Oh, golf. Oh, sorry. I was like, oh my God, why are you starting?
I know you're in the, you're a student head. What's your favorite golf major?
No, it's a language barrier, really.
That's true. I'm going to put the blame on me.
I think I really, really do like A&A. I know people will not probably get that, but I think I played the golf course and I loved it, and I just can picture myself coming back to it. So I'll say A&A.
Can you picture yourself jumping in Poppy's Pond?
Sure. I would love to do that. It's actually pretty shallow, so I would be a little hesitant, but I will do it.
Yeah, just pull your knees up because it's you're kind of tall.
No kidding.
What's something that I would not expect to find in your golf bag?
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, so it's actually like, what do you call language barrier? What do you call the pump? Like the bowl pump?
Like a pump to pump up a football or something?
A bowl, yeah, because I have to. So it's for my training aid. I have a yoga bowl, and I have to pump it sometimes. I have a bowl pump.
Okay, I've not heard that one yet. What is something that's funny? What is something that you have to have in your golf bag?
Bowls.
Oh, you can be more creative than that.
Right. Well, I have a little stick, and I have like a camera holder, my phone holder on the stick, so I can video my swings at every single practice.
There you go.
Or anywhere I go. Gotta have that.
I love it. That's perfect. And it's yours, and it's in your golf bag. What's your dream foursome?
Ooh. I actually never thought about, I have to say Tiger Woods. I'm sorry. I gotta say Tiger Woods.
That's one.
I would love. I need to pick a girl, right? I gotta have.
You can pick anybody you want. They don't even have to be alive anymore. Dream foursome. We got Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods.
Yep.
I would definitely pick Charlie Hull. She's on the LPGA and the European Tour. She's like my big fan. I'm a big fan of hers. And I don't know, Phil Mickelson. I would play with Phil. Love to that.
Yeah, well, you got another Sun Devil on you there. So.
And we'll definitely, kind of girls versus boys, I guess.
Yeah, there you go. All right, last one. What's the best advice you've ever gotten about golf or anything else?
I don't know. I just never really, I have so many, I guess. I would say breathe. Is that okay? Because I like to
breathe is great.
I feel like whatever you do, you got to breathe. Like you're nervous, breathe. You make a shot, breathe. You have a tough shot, breathe. Have an exam, breathe. Like it's always breathe. I always tell that to myself at least. You're nervous, breathe. Yeah. Just breathe.
I love it. It's simple, but
pretty simple.
It fits everything. So I love it. Hey, thanks for doing this. Thanks for coming on. Good luck in golf. I hope you get back on the course soon. Good luck with Vimhue, Vimhue.com. I'll talk to you soon. Sofia, Anokhina, thanks. I appreciate it. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye.
You got it. Bye.
Have a good one.
All right. We did it. Mike, we did it again. I want to thank Sofia Anokhina for coming on the show today. I want to thank Rashad Jennings for coming on the show today. Thanks for Mike Del Tufo for flipping on the switches at the condo in Redondo. A special birthday shout out to my son, Caden, who turns 10 this Wednesday. Give him a shout out on his Instagram at Caden West Golf. Happy birthday, buddy. We have a great show coming at you next week. You can check out the Golf Bag Podcast on Apple or wherever you get your podcasts. Take a listen. Thanks for playing. Until next time on the Golf Bag, I'm Dave West. Mike, get us out, buddy.